I want to play 7 First Light. You see, friends, even though I'm completely illiterate, I'm still a bit of a scholar. I enjoy classic cinema, like James Bond or Bruce Lee. I appreciate the lost millennia. With $69 in this economy, oof, I don't have any money. Now we get to play a game of, Mom, can we get James Bond? No, we have James Bond at home, and that is never fun. So how do we get James Bond at home? Let's take a look at the cast. Ooh, Lenny James.
Perhaps some basic training might still be needed.
What was that, sir? I didn't quite hear you. Would you repeat what you just said?
Tell me, you don't fear Vanguard operations?
It's Lord Shaxx of Destiny fame! I guess Destiny 2 does work. It is free to play. But I think we have a problem with fit. The Zenless translation effort was more fighting game focused. Destiny 2 is more of a looter shooter. Okay, back to the cast list. Still plenty of cast members, and we don't have any money. So we need to find James Bond at home. Gemma-chan. Is she the lady from the Marvel movies? I think I can make this work. Okay, hear me out. There's a movie coming out soon with Jason Momoa in it, and Jason Momoa is playing a character that just might work here. This is gonna be a little bit of a stretch, but maybe the question we need to start asking ourselves is, does Gemma-chan have a nephew? Is it Blanka-chan? Yeah, if you told me these two people were related, I would believe you, with no questions. Similar bone structure, they both look like movie stars. Yeah, I mean, if you told me these two were brother and sister, I would believe you. To be fair, Street Fighter 6 was the original host for the Zenless translation effort. I switched over to 2XKO because I felt like it was a better fit because it had multiple characters that you switch between and it was free to play. But really, Street Fighter 6 has a much more developed leveling system and an endgame, which brings us better in line with what we need here. But the true catalyst is my dedication to self-improvement. For the 3 weeks while we wait for 3.0 to come out, I have decided to un-illiterate. It is time to literate. And to be completely honest, it is not going very well right now. I don't know exactly what's happening. I mean, that's fair, right? But yeah, it is not going good. One thing worth exploring, I'm seeing that when some parents have trouble getting their kids to read, they'll use games as a tool to get the kids to engage in literacy. That's worth a shot in my case too, I guess. So in 2XKO, I was playing as Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank starts with a B. In Street Fighter 6, I will play as Blanka-chan, because Blanka-chan starts with a B. And who would have thought that Zenless Zone Zero would be my path to literacy? I did not have that on my 2026 bingo card. Also, Capcom recently gave Blanka-chan a shirt. Yeah, he was kind of a no-shirt situation. And can you imagine trying to go to Wendy's and there's a sign up that says no shirt, no shoes, no service? That's gonna be kind of rough. And don't get me wrong, Blanka-chan is quintessentially American. He looks like he's on a strict diet of quinoa, CrossFit, and peptides. My man is looking healthy. But don't tell me you don't see the resemblance here either. He looks like the love child of Kanye West and Margaret Thatcher. Equally ready to throw hands, win a Grammy, or take a break for tea time. But my commitment to literate is resolute. I don't get to skip my lessons here. B is for Blanka-chan, and B is also for Blitzcrank. Big change for me going from Blitzcrank to Blanka is that apparently Blanka's a really good character. I got the Emerald one running Blitzcrank with Sidekick, and spoiler alert, community consensus is that Blitzcrank is a bad character, and Sidekick is a bad fuse. So all that tracks. And to be clear, I'm not complaining. I just really vibe with Blitzcrank. He's so much fun. It's a really hard thing to do to play Blitzcrank and not have fun. So if 2XKO did have a consensus around the endgame was, I would have just driven Blitzcrank there. It would have been fine. And I feel like 2XKO just isn't as mature as Street Fighter 6, and that is what it is, so. And with my luck, when I finally get to the end of the road with Street Fighter 6, 2XKO probably will have a consensus around what the end game is. Have you guys seen what 2XKO has been up to lately? They're dropping Senna, Thresh, and a new PvE mode all at the same time. 2XKO has been cooking. It's unfortunate it didn't work out with 2XKO, but you know, they had sort of a rough launch, so I don't blame them. And at the end of the day, if I have to go into Street Fighter 6 to see if I have any transfer from my Zenless days, it's not quite as clean because now I've played some 2XKO, and 2XKO technically is a fighting game, but that's still fine. 2XKO and Street Fighter 6 are both great games, so I'm gonna have a great time doing it, and I think that's really what matters. I might need to take a quick break before I start though. I wanted to start my Street Fighter 6 journey on June 4th, so it lined up nicely with when Zenless launched, which is July 4th, so it would have been just a month out. It would have been easy to track, except that Destiny 2 is doing their final patch on June 9th, so I want to make room for that. My poor hard drive can't handle all these ginormous games, and Destiny 2 is already really big. 2XKO is relatively small, so I think that can stay, but I think I'm gonna have to get rid of Street Fighter 6 temporarily to make room for Destiny 2 because I have no idea how much bigger that final update's gonna be. Blanka-chan and James Bond, their connection, their bond, is crime. I'm just saying, historically, James Bond, his entire job is to do crimes on behalf of the government. He is an agent. He does felonies. It's in his job description. And I'm not super familiar with Blanka, but I'm just saying, bro, where did you get that ankle bracelet from? I'm just saying, you got a pair of really nice ankle bracelets and you're gonna tell me you don't do crimes? It seems like those ankle bracelets are associated with crimes. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.